Let's roll, man. The author Andy Andrews said, when faced with a decision, most people say they're waiting for God. But I know and I understand that in most cases, God is the one waiting for me. One of the most impactful moments in my life was when I was sitting in a jail cell awaiting a prison sentence. My life up to that point had been just filled with me making bad decisions. Some of my decisions were good, but most of them were bad. At a young age, I was faced with the decision on whether or not I was going to live with either my mom or live with my dad. That decision carried a lot of connotations. My dad, on one hand, had discipline and he would keep me on the right path in my life, while my mom would let me do as I pleased. I chose to live with my mom because I thought it would lead to an easier life. That decision right there led me to grow up around an alcoholic for a mom, and later on choose to use drugs and alcohol myself. After years of committing crimes and doing as I pleased, it finally hit rock bottom. I was sitting in that jail cell I was talking about, awaiting that prison sentence. I realized two things at that point. First was that I made a decision that I could change which direction my life went. And I made that decision that I would take responsibility for what had happened to that point in my life. The second was that I realized that there was a living God that loved me and that was going to be there, that was going to love me regardless of anything else that went on in my life. I was eventually convicted of rendering criminal assistance and was sentenced to 1 year in prison. I wish I could say it was all rainbows and butterflies after that, but upon release, I still made some bad decisions. But I did make one really good decision, and I married my wife, Lily. We have 2 kids, her kids, that are now my stepkids. One of the boy who still lives with us today. Despite making some bad I get to make 2 decisions every day that drastically change everything in my life. The first one is that I get to choose to love God with all my heart, and I get to choose to follow him every day. The second one is that I get to make a decision to love my neighbor as myself. Life can be as exciting as a roller coaster, but the ups and downs, it can get kind of uncomfortable at points. I may not make the best decisions every time, but I'm learning more and more about how to be dependent on God. I've learned over the 24 years on this earth that life is all about choices and all about the choices that I make. Whether in jail or on a beach, I know that I can be content in any situation. Thank you for listening.